Hello. Just getting my pile. So I've tried to get like a very mystical vibe happening, ready for Halloween. So I'm gonna make this reading centered around relationships, love, and that sort of thing. So I didn't really touch on this topic too much, mainly because I was worried that it would come off kind of gimmicky, because in all honesty I find there's a high saturation of that stuff, and I totally understand why, but there's a few things that I should maybe cover based on the way that I read tarot. I don't like to do it too often because I feel like that just dilutes the whole experience, really. It's like anything, when you hit it so much, you know, it just, your tolerance to it increases and you need more of it and it's not as effective. So I feel like a tarot reading should be kind of a bit more sparse. Again, I find it like very energetically consuming, and I only really do it when I feel like the vibes arrive, and I definitely feel them now. So we're gonna go ahead with that. I've got some like very powerful crystals with me. So the reason as well that I am going to center this around relationships, even though sometimes I can find it sort of gimmicky, or I'm not really sure whether to trust it or not, sort of thing, but essentially, like, relationships are at the very core of all of our spiritual growth. That's where we get to know ourselves at the deepest level, by having it like directly reflected to us in the person that we like get in a relationship with, if that makes sense. So the reason why I thought of that today is because I've just started reading this book. It's called Ayurvedic Astrology. So I'm going to try and really like get to grips with more of the ancient philosophy side of things and try and relay or like help people understand it. But yeah, I was reading about like the three bodies that we have, so the physical, astral, and causal, and the causal being the innermost body. So you've got like 3 layers. The innermost causal body, which is the part that persists through reincarnations. So you have the causal body, and then the astral body, which arises out from the inside, so it kind of comes like that, like blooming. And then you get the physical, which is the most external, most tangible thing that everyone is like very aware of, but you can, with self-inquiry, become deeper and deeper acquainted with the innermost parts of yourself. And that's what spiritual healing is about, and what divination methods are about, helping you connect with the spiritual realm so that you can get to know yourself better and fundamentally heal yourself from the root of all of your problems, whether that be, you know, physical manifestations of dis-ease in the body stored at a very deep level. Those things can be inherited from, or are inherited from, previous incarnations and previous generations, which is why there's such thing as intergenerational trauma. And I think there's evidence enough for that in any individual's life to understand that trauma is inherited, because, you know, your parents project on you as a child, and that's your like ego that you had to build to defend yourself against what you thought was necessary to defend yourself against in this world. But when you get to a deep layer, like, all of that stuff is removed. You no longer need the ego, and you can harness the power of the ego, rather than using the ego to function as at your like, well, to function all the time, if that makes sense. So if you function from a deeper level of understanding, there's less effort, there's less difficulty. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I know this is not like a traditional introduction to a reading, but I actually think these explanations are really helpful and useful for people to understand what all of this stuff is and how it works. So if you just take a moment to breathe deeply in, out. I'm just going to leave this space for a second. I'm going to close the door that I have just because I think it was like bashing. But yeah, I'm going to let the silence kind of help you get into the zone. Just have a little relax and breathe deeply, and that will help for me to connect with you. Yeah, and hopefully this reading will be magical and wonderful. So I'll be back. I'll let you have that silence. See you in a moment. Right, I'm back now. So I'm going to show you the crystals. I've got 4. So I'm intending on going big. This will probably be a long one. So first we have a kind of mixed crystal. It's mostly quartz with some pyrite. I'm pretty sure there was something else in it, but I'm not totally sure. But this one has a really like super powerful, really clear energy. It's very brilliant, like a brilliant light. And I've used this one before in a reading. So I'm selling all of these crystals. Well, actually one of them I'm gifting, but I'm selling the rest. This is a geode from Utah, and I think it has this really beautiful like butterfly shape. Everything feels quite clear today, like associated with air elements. So yeah, this is the second crystal, and I've got this incredible labradorite. It's got this great like blue sheen. Ooh, the light's got blue, so you can't really see it clearly, but it doesn't matter too much. It's just more about like the feeling you get when you connect with. This is kind of a deeper type of clarity I get the vibe of. And here's the last crystal. This is more of an airy lightness. So you know how I said with this one it's like a brilliant light, like shining and sparkling, just like the crystal. And this one is more of a like, this is definitely some type of quartz, I think. Possibly citrine, but I'm not totally sure. But the energy is very like grounded kind of clarity. So pick your crystal, and then I'll go in like some random order, whatever I feel like. So first I'm going to pull some astrology cards. I'm definitely feeling that straight away. And I'm going to go with the third crystal that I showed you. So the lovely blue, watery labradorite. This guy. You don't know. You can't see in this light, but like I said, it's fine. First card, Scorpio, I transform. Yeah. So just try and like think about what you're feeling in response to these cards. Jupiter return, benefits. Grand trine, blessings. Okay, I'm gonna pull a fourth. Fire element, desire. Ooh, this is very sexy. Sexy vibes. I'm feeling, I'm seeing. So let me read into these a bit more. Ooh, we've got like a nice red, blue, blue, red vibe. I feel like this is talking about 2 people. So this is the masculine, I would say, and this is the feminine. So So we've got like the arrow pointing down, the arrow pointing up, so we've got opposite elements of the cold and the hot, the feminine and the masculine within the feminine, which is this side. And on this end we have Scorpio and Jupiter. Strangely, it's kind of inverted, so in a way I feel like this is talking about innermost, the fiery side in the masculine, and this is the like airy, expansive side in the masculine. So this is definitely an indication that two halves are coming together. There's been a journey of like a deep expansion in the masculine energy. And this has required a lot of self inquiry, a lot of going into the depths. You know, like in June where there's like that sandworm, I just got like that vibe. Like, you know how the sandworm lives in the sand, like deep in the ground, and I had a vision of this once, and this Scorpio like always reminds me of it. I was in this like deep meditation a while ago. I just remember it so well because it was so vivid, and the fear I felt when this creature like came up from the sand that I saw in the vision, that fear like jolted me out of the meditative state, and like I came back to this reality. But yeah, it was like I knew I was in a very deep state of meditation, and then I saw like a picture float up, and it was in a sort of like oval cloud thing, and then a woman's voice was speaking to me, but I couldn't see her, and they were showing me all these like rings from ancient Egypt with like big stones and stuff, and they were like, well, the woman was like, do you like the rings? And I was like, yes, I do, because I love shiny things. And then like when I said yes, I sort of like portaled into the image, and then I was like in a really hot, a sand dune area, so I assume it was like ancient Egypt because that was the vibe that I got from the whole thing. But I was like poking around in the sand with my hand, and then suddenly like this massive like red kind of monster, like prawny thing, and I think it was this like lobster. I thought it was a lobster, but I was like, why would a lobster be in the sand? That's so weird. But maybe it was a desert scorpion or something, I don't know. But it came, it leapt out of the sand, and it was so giant, and it just like really shocked me. So I like woke up. But I feel like that message is like relevant here, because in the same way that it woke me up, I feel like the masculine has gone through this like, maybe conquered his fear. He's awakened from like the slumber sort of thing. The beast is, it's like when Beauty and the Beast, like in the story, how Beauty kisses the beast and he awakens, right? Like, and then they fall in love and la la la. So yeah, that's definitely like the vibe that I get there. Let me ask for some more messages, because I feel like I want to ask about you. So the feminine force here, I'm going to ask the Hush Tarot about your journey. My nose, it's like cold in my temper, so I'm wearing lots of layers. I'm excited. I'm just gonna take my time with this reading as well and go kind of slow, just because of planning to do quite a few. I'm just gonna speak slowly because I try and speak fast. I think I try to get through a lot in a short amount of time, and it's probably not great. Right, I'm going to pick 7 cards. So I've got 5 of Wands. Looks like that. 5 of Wands. 7 of Pentacles. Looks like that. The Hermit. Knight of Wands. King of Swords. And wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then we've got King of Pentacles. And 9 of Wands. Okay, so I think this is like a journey that you have gone through. Let me just have a look at these for a moment. Okay, so I've got like 2 rows of 3 and then the final card at the bottom. And I feel like you started this journey just going your way, you know, you were just doing your thing and yeah, carefully considering each decision as you went through it. I don't think you prioritized your emotions at this point. Like, it wasn't really that much to take into consideration, but yeah, you just decided that you would go with the flow, essentially. And then I think you found yourself in kind of an unexpected place. I think you experienced maybe with this person something that something unusual, something that you haven't felt before, and I get the impression that yeah, it's this feeling that has actually like led you to ultimately feeling kind of alone, just because it was such a unique experience. So I definitely don't get any like negative vibes. Like, it's not like sad. It's more like it's just like oh, like that's what happened kind of thing, you know, an understanding that of something curious to you. And you know, I think you've been through several hermit phases. So in the spiritual awakening process, there are several phases of your life in which you will find yourself alone. It depends on the person. Some people, like, maybe you never are alone, but generally people have at least experienced one time where they felt very alone. And this is not a negative thing. This is just an opportunity to close the energy around you and keep in your personal space so that you can become the hermit, you know, get to know yourself, and you always grow out of it having found like unlocked something deeper within you. And I think that's what this rose says. So like, that's kind of the journey you've been through, that you are one to go with the flow, and you enjoy finding out the deeper layers of yourself. Not just, you know, it's not in an egoic way, it's just like, it's just the process, like regardless of whether you're trying it or not, like it's happening in its own way anyway. But you've been someone that's been actively engaged in this process, which means that you've ended up as the hermit at least once. And so you came out of that with a lot of knowledge, a lot of self-knowledge. And this is showing a lot of like Emperor energy. So we've got Knight of Wands, King of Swords, and King of Pentacles. So like being in control, or you know, combining your ability to sense and know what your innermost desires are with a sort of kingly spirit in how you make decisions. So like sticking to the fact that you know that what it takes to become more self-aware is a process of making a decision, and each step of the way, like this is showing that you've been brave in doing that. And I think the cards are trying to congratulate you, or like ask you to give yourself a pat on the back, and not in a like, I don't know, it's in quite a serious way. That's the energy that I get, like especially with this King of Pentacles. Like I think you've earned the right to, you know, pass judgment in some ways, dare I say. You've earned the right to pass judgment, but because you now know that you can pass judgment, you don't. You know, you're just kind of like, okay, I know what that is, so it doesn't really matter to me anymore. And so yeah, feminine, you're doing really well. Like I do not see any negativity in these cards or instability. I actually see quite a lot of bravery and stability that you feel, and I think that's probably what's caused the reflection in Divine Masculine here. So 9 of Wands, that's you charging forward now. You've got like swords, your knowledge as a guard for your chest as you charge forward, and you've got a knife in your mouth as well. So to me that says like you're quick with your tongue, you're you know when to bite, and it's asking you to continue trusting yourself there because you've got the knowledge. Yeah, so that's Divine Feminine's message. Do I ask about masculine? I kind of don't really feel like it. I know that might like annoy some people, you kind of want to know type of thing, but I think it's not meant to be known at this point in time. So it was just exciting to see, you know, these are always reflective processes, and you're always counterparts, equal counterparts, creating an equilibrium. So maybe this part is unwritten just yet, because this really felt like the beginning, whereas like with the feminine message it felt like more like this was this half of the tale, and the rest of the tale will tell itself as time comes. So that's exciting. Right, that's the blue sheen labradorite. Ooh, we have a card. 7 of Wands. Oh, I just see like deep desires being fulfilled. I think that's just the message that just saw 2323. So I don't really know what that means, to be honest, but I guess it's kind of like 1111. I just saw 2311 as well. So yeah, I think this suggests alignment, like with the numbers. Just yeah, that's the only message. I don't think we really need to tell you more, but Spirit just wants to say like you know, alignment is coming, whatever that means for you, whether that's with or without twin flame or whatever. There, regardless of anything that happens, like you will feel fulfilled, and that's the reassurance here. So don't worry about anything. Ooh, I forgot to put on an incense. Let me do that now. Do with the extra energy. Where the hell is my green lighter? Okay, hopefully this one will do. I have a bunch of like ones that are not really working. It's not super useful, but such is life. This incense is sparkly. Ooh, that was a big green. Oh, come on. It's not working. Come on. It's not working. Let's just try a different one. Sorry, this might take a while. Fire, 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 fire. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it. imagine in the future we're going to have videos which are like multi-sensory. It's probably already here, to be honest. You can just close your eyes and imagine it. Right, next I'm going to do this one. It makes sense because like I put the incense on, which has a kind of starry sky vibe, and I feel like this has a very starry sky vibe. Okay, I'm going to be using my Night Sun deck, which I store in this twinkly box. Okay, I'm hearing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, how I wonder what you are. I think someone is very mesmerized by you. I don't know whether this is like a romantic kind of mesmerized. It could be many people actually. I don't really get the feeling it's like one person, but I feel like this is any energy as well, like masculine or feminine. I don't get the message that it's like one or the other sort of thing. I'm just gonna put away these drawing cards. Dun, 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 dun. Right. What does twinkly stars and starry sky mean? King of Pentacles. I get like super masculine, like strong vibes here. I'm not really sure what the message is yet. Knight of Swords reversed. So a little bit of indecision somewhere. Something's coming for you though. You'll know in your mind's eye, whatever that means. But I think you'll know when the time comes what thing is coming for you. Okay, earth, earth, fire, fire. We've got so the card that I just picked was this one, which is reversed. So it's the Five of Wands reversed. So I see okay, so the masculine energy here has made a decision. He's coming for you. You are going to you are already reflecting the energy. So I think when right now you feel indecisive and you kind of know what your emotions are, but you're just like blocking them because there's no point in engaging with them really. It's not even that you're blocking them, it's just that like now is not the time. And yeah, like there's a decision being like you're waiting for a decision to be made, and the masculine is like he's standing in his own like energy right now. Like I said, he's coming for you, which is the message that I got. But why is this related to the starry sky? Like I'm still not really getting that. Oh, I really wish I had like more decks. Ooh, maybe I'll use my earth alchemy. Where are they? Yeah. I'm gonna use my earth alchemy and my rune stones because I'm getting the message journey right now. Let me shuffle these. What is the message? Can you give me some clarity on the starry sky thing, please, Spirit? Spirit. Right. Pearl and Larimar. There's going to be clarification coming. Fulgurite and Rosebay, Willow Herb. Regeneration. Let go. Regeneration. Creativity. Okay. we've got light, dark, light, dark again. So we had like earth, fire, light, dark, light, dark. Like I'll show you the kind of color scheme we're talking about, because it's quite clear when you look at it. So my eyes itchy. So do you see that? Light, dark, green, red. So earth and fire, and air and water, I think, are the messages that I get. So there's going to be some clarification coming soon. It's going to